The most weather in the morning with meteorologist Michael White. Good day Gulf Coast, 4:30 to 9, Fox 10 Mornings.
Wave after wave of rain, and finally, as you mentioned in the story, things are getting a little bit better for them, finally.
Hopefully things will dry out a bit.
And now we are dealing with thick fog. We've seen showers already this morning. We got more coming tomorrow, and even another round for the weekend. Now we can't catch a break.
It's going to be a wet January.
You got that right. Yeah, let's dive into what we've got right now on the watch warning map. You got a dense fog advisory up for everybody in the Fox 10 viewing area as the visibilities remain very low. The good news is, as the wind speeds pick up,
Robertsdale, Summerdale, and eventually will cross the Baldwin Beach Express. We'll go back to the correlation coefficient and see if we have any. Oh boy. Jason, there it is.
We probably have a tornado on the ground here.
Yep.
Meteorologist Michael White in the Fox 10 Storm Tracker Center. Here's an update on the situation. It's about 2:45 in the morning. Let's go right to the radar where you got a big line of rain and storms tracking from west to east. The good news is, as I'm doing this, the tornado probabilities are dropping, but you still have the risk of flash flooding and severe thunderstorms with a huge band of heavy rain and lightning that is slowly crawling its way to the east. Now, by the time we get to mid-morning, by the time a lot of you have to leave the house, all of these storms will be blowing out of the area. Look what happens by the time we get to 8 a.m. 8 a.m., these storms are gone, and then the sky clears, and as we hit the afternoon, it's going to be beautiful with lower humidity, and then things getting a bit cooler.
Fruitdale, and that's the reason why the warning was issued. You can see at the end of this loop, you have an inflow notch on this particular storm. The inflow notch is right here, and your possible tornado would be just to the south and west of that inflow. So right there over Fruitdale, you need to be in your safe place. Where is that? That is the lowest level of your home. That's away from doors. That's away from windows, preferably a first floor bathroom or a hall closet. Not only is this storm going to be impacting you with a possible tornado, but you also have straight line winds that are going to be a major factor with this storm, and it's going to continue working its way to the east at 35 miles per hour, and it does include this section of Washington County along State Highway 17 south of Chatham. But Fruitdale is the biggest populated spot that's in this warning polygon, so you need to make sure that you're taking that threat seriously. Wager and McIntosh are in the polygon as well, so you all have much more time to get to your safe place. Fruitdale, you hardly have any time at all. You need to be getting in there now. Hopefully all your devices have gone off to alert you for a tornado warning that's in the area, but with a signature like that, with that little curve on the radar, when you get that hook like that, that's a strong indication that there is a tornado that is possibly in the region. We'll pull up what's known as the velocity. It looks like it would have been roughly, let's see if I can put right there. Okay, let me see if I can, all right, right here. So at 2:57, the tornado would have been right there. See that little shade of red? That would have been the tornado. And sure enough, there's Virginia Street and Broad Street's nearby. So the tornado, and see, there's Broad, there's Virginia. That would have been your tornado. So it looks like it happened at about 2:57, 2:58 in the morning. And that's what we're going to be covering a lot on this morning, was the damage that storm produced. It looks like it was brief, short-lived, but enough to really wreak havoc across that section of downtown Mobile.
Tornado may be lagging a little. The tornado warning is going to continue until midnight.
Yeah, that's right, Jason. We just got the new, you were asking about the volume scan. We just got it. And the Weather Service did say that this was a confirmed tornado that was located, unfortunately, right over Robertsdale, moving to the north at 35 miles per hour.
Okay.
So that still puts Rosenton in danger. The Baldwin Beach Express by the Buc-ee's, that's exit 49 off I-10. So anyone over there, Jason, needs to be taking care of this and get in shelter now. Over 60 miles an hour, hail threat significant, and unfortunately, we have seen a few tornadoes, one of which before 3 in the morning caused damage in parts of downtown Mobile at Broad and Virginia Street. And believe it or not, it was not even from this main line that's pushing through. It was from one storm cell that formed ahead of the main line, and look at that. New tornado warning just issued. This includes the eastern shore. So let's ramp this back up and see what we got. So, Daphne, you are under the gun as of right now. Tornado possibly moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. This warning includes, let's go back to the watch warning map. Daphne, it includes Montrose, Bayfront Park, Nalbus. It includes Loxley. it includes Rosenton, it includes Gateswood. So that section of Baldwin County is now under a tornado warning. The western end of Spanish Fort by 225 is not in the warning. Neither is Fairhope, neither is Point Clear, Foley, Robertsdale. None of you are in the warning. But Daphne, all the way up to Gateswood, is in a possible tornado threat. And oh, that's a pretty tight couplet. Look at that right there. I'm going to circle this so you can get a good look at it right there. That's your possible tornado, and that is working its way to the north and east at 55 miles per hour. We just got a new sweep scan, and it looks like that threat is even more significant. It's coming right over Bayfront Park, and that's going to be right over Bay Bluff Lane. So Eastern Shore, Daphne, get in shelter. Where is shelter? That is the lowest level of your home. That's away from doors and away from windows. That is a very ugly looking couplet that's working its way northeast at 55 miles per hour. So Daphne, you got to get in shelter now. Belforest, you're going to be next. So this entire part of the Eastern Shore, north of Montrose, and right over Daphne and just south of Bayfront Park. Here's Bayfront Park, here's Montrose, there's Daphne, and there's your possible tornado. That's going to be working northeast, crossing State Highway 181 just south of Malbus. So just south of the Eastern Shore Center is where that tornado is going to be working its way toward. It's going to be moving in a hurry. And since it's moving at 55 miles per hour, you can almost assume when the next sweep scan comes through off the radar, it won't be here. It will likely be here, which means Daphne is getting it as we speak. And that's our camera in Daphne. That is on the roof of the Hampton Inn, and that is just north of where that possible tornado is located. And look at how the camera is shaking violently from the straight line winds. But that camera, the camera placement is just north of where that tornado is. So let's readjust the map a bit. I'm going to highlight that's the possible tornado. And the camera is located right at the end of the bayway. So the camera is just north of the possible tornado, and you look at how nasty it looks from the camera vantage point, and that's not even never fun, but you want to make sure you are staying alert and aware of all of this in real time as we continue to track these storms. As far as when the storms are going to exit, we'll pull back up the Futurecast. If you haven't gotten a chance to see that this morning, you'll get a good illustration that this is only the first of 2 rounds that's coming through. So the first round's done by 6 a.m. 6 a.m., everyone goes quiet. But then look what happens at 8 o'clock this morning. 8 o'clock, the next round starts to flare up and track to the south and east. So by 10, 11, look at noon. At noon, you can see the severe storms in round 2 will be east of Interstate 65. And then by 2 in the afternoon, you'll see that those move offshore and everyone ends up going dry, and the severe threat is going to be completely over with. So let's go back to the main line of storms that's pushing from the west to the east. You can see we still have the active tornado warning. You can see this main squall line is already pushed east of Mobile, which means everyone behind that line, the severe threat is over for now. But then we have to wait for severe threat number 2 that pushes in starting at about 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning and lasts till shortly after midday. So if you're in Mobile County and you don't have to wait
to the storm to our west, I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Michael White for an update on what we're seeing with these storms over towards the New Orleans area. Michael?
Thanks a lot, Jason. Well, here's the issue. You know, all these storms that have happened in our area right now are ahead of the main line. The main line still has not gotten here yet. The main line is still to the west of us around parts of New Orleans and Slidell. And as I bring back the watch warning map, notice that we're starting to see a few tornado warnings popping up. You're getting some right around New Orleans and some just to the north of Slidell. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we'll see any tornado warnings here when the main line blows through, but the possibility is certainly in play. And even if we don't see tornado warnings, we could certainly see straight line winds in excess of 60, possibly even 70 miles per hour. And when you get those straight line winds, they can easily knock down trees and power lines, which is one reason why we emphasize so much that you want to make sure you are not in a mobile home tonight. Make sure you're staying in a foundation-based building until all of the severe weather threat is over. It's expected to be done around midnight tonight for locations west of I-65, about 2 in the morning if you're east of I-65. But before you got to go to work and before the kids go to school tomorrow, all of this will be a distant memory, and the rest of the week is going to end up looking south of Fort Morgan and Gulf Shores, and we watched it for over an hour before it finally worked its way over Gask, and that's when we saw the tornado-warned storm move over that RV park, and that's where we're watching it now, over Magnolia Springs, and it's going to be bypassing Foley, I think, but it's going to be moving to the west of Foley. Here's a look at it on there. So here's Foley right here. That's State Highway 59. That's the heavily trafficked road off exit 44 on I-10 that runs all the way down to the hangout at Gulf Shores. This is Highway 98. Of course, that intersection of 98 and 59 is right in the middle of downtown Foley. So just past Foley Middle School and right around Magnolia Springs and Magnolia Springs Highway, and just to the south of County Road 28 is where that possible tornadic signature is located, and that thing's moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. So I think the interchange of 59 and 98 is going to be bypassed, but I think spots that are in trouble, County Road 55, 65, 28, I would say State Highway 59 near Summerdale needs to make sure they are in their safe place, because that feature is going to keep marching its way in a hurry at 40 miles an hour. So it's going to be moving basically like this. So anyone that's located along the general path there that crosses County Road 55, 65, County Road 28, County Road 32, and then right around Summerdale, which is right along that part of 59. Now, I think 59 around Foley is going to be bypassed, but anyone that's in those county roads west of the Foley Beach Express needs to be in shelter right now. You got to be away from doors and windows. First floor bathroom, first floor hall closet is the preferred spot to be, and do not get out of there until that warning is either canceled or expired, and the warning is set to go for at least the next 15 minutes. So it's going to be going till at least 11:15. And as far as other storms that we're watching, thankfully we don't have any tornado warnings in the main line, the line that's stretching from, and we told you it was going to be a blustery day, and it has been. Wind advisory still with the entire Gulf Coast. It'll be with us most of the day, as wind speeds will be between 20 and 40 miles an hour out of the north. But at least the sky has been sunny. Now, the clouds are going to come rolling back in this afternoon. A lot of these clouds in the plain states are headed this way, and it could make us mostly cloudy by tonight and into your Christmas Eve morning. Could we get a few snow flurries? Well, it's certainly cold enough for that, but no moisture is expected over the Christmas weekend. We might, and fingers crossed, get maybe a flake or two to drop out early tomorrow morning from those thick clouds, but that would be about it. But even that would be good compared to that 80-degree Christmas we had last year. As far as how things will shape up for today, we're expecting to hit the freezing mark at noon. We'll be just over it at 3, and then into the upper 20s by 6, and that's when the winds will start to gradually weaken. We'll go through the futurecast, and you can see the clouds ushering their way back in by the time we get to the afternoon. We end up mostly cloudy tonight, and we're going to be gloomy as we head in toward tomorrow morning, but the clouds won't last the entire day on Christmas Eve. Old Man Winter showing up. Makes you miss the puddle ducky. North wind at 20 to 40 miles an hour, a blustery day. Tonight we're going to be bottoming out down into the upper teens. Wind chill values single digits, and check things out as we move forward over the next 7 days. The high gets just over 40 on Christmas Day on Sunday, with mornings in the upper teens and low 20s. But after the Christmas weekend's over, we start to thaw out as we get ready to close out 2022. We'll see mid-50s Tuesday, low 60s Wednesday, near 70 by Thursday, and even the morning temps rebound drastically by the end of the week. We'll have more updates coming up on Fox 10 midday. Jen will have more updates later on Fox 10 News at 4, and of course on the Fox 10 weather app, fox10tv.com, and all of our social media channels. Have a wonderful Friday and have a wonderful Christmas.